Good morning, everyone. I am excited to be here with you today to talk about how to really rock a product trial. This is something that this is the way I have built my business. It was a lifesaver, really, in being able to work this business in the rest of my life. So I am excited to share with you what I've learned about it, what the things that I have learned about really getting good at sharing product one-on-one and working it into your life. So first, I might as well tell you a little bit about why that was so important to me, why it really saved my business, it saved me being in the business. When I started Arbonne, I had a 1-year-old and a husband who was working shift work. He's an RCMP officer, so I had to work things around him. And one of the things that I figured out really quickly is that, I needed to work, if I was going to book parties, I needed to work them around Chris's shift, and it wasn't always solid. He also had court and all sorts of other commitments, so that was challenging. As well, I found that parties were, it was hard to get them to stick. It was hard to get people to commit. And I was often faced with a calendar that was empty. So I needed to really get good at how do I get this product out in front of people? How do I do that? And so through trial and error and through practice, I got better at it. This was a reach out method when I started, but it wasn't really refined. There was no system to it. There was no process. It was just kind of hand out your gold bag and hope for the best. So, this was looking at what was working, looking at getting better at it, every time I did it so that I was getting results. That was really the key, so that I was getting results. So as we moved, we got transferred shortly after I promoted to RVP, actually, and moved to Calgary. And it was my husband's dream job, which was amazing, but it was in major crimes, working homicide. And as you can imagine, that doesn't happen on a schedule. So we went from shift work, which I could kind of work around, to like complete on-call craziness where he would just disappear in the blink of an eye. We'd be in the middle of Christmas dinner. That happened, and boom, phone call rings. So, my schedule of activity was lower on that priority list, obviously. So I needed to figure out how this was going to work for me in order to continue working my business. And that's when RE9 product trials became a lifesaver. They're the reason I'm still here, because I'm convinced that if we were just a product company, just a party company, I wouldn't have made it. I would have been like, you know what, peace out, can't do it. I don't know how I'm going to juggle this. But because I had the option of working with product and booking around my schedule and booking around my babies, because then I had another baby while we lived in Calgary, I could make it work, right? I could make it work. Many follow-ups on RE9. Did I do nursing, or on play dates with other people's kids? And, I would have dropped the product off, and then we're following up and our kids are playing and I'm going through the process with them during that time. It just worked. It worked in my life. So I was able to continue that income producing activity even though my time was challenged. That's the thing, even though my time was challenged. So one of the things that I want to share with you too is that they're not exclusive of each other. So it's not you're doing product trials or doing parties. In fact, what works the best is doing them so that they interlink with each other. So I meet a mom at the swimming pool, right? We got talking, and I asked her if she's ever heard of Arbonne, and no, and hey, if I gave you our anti-aging skincare to try. Would you give it a go and give me some feedback? And she says, sure. And so I drop it off, right? And I pick it up, and she loves it. She loves it, and she wants to buy it. And now I have a prime candidate for a hostess that I didn't have before, right? So now I can say, you know, I'm so glad you love it and you're gonna be so happy. Do you know 3 or 4 other people who you think would love this product too? I'd love to do a little get together with them, and they'd be able to try the product as well, and you'd be able to benefit off of our amazing host rewards, right? And so it develops really good hostesses, because if you have people using product before they host, they're motivated to get butts in the seats, to get people to come so that they can get product, they can get free product or discounted product. So, that turns into a hostess. She hosts, 4 of her friends come over. I now have 4 new leads to hand out my RE9 sets to, and that's what I would do. So I would never hand them out at a party, because I don't want to kill any sales that are going to happen at the party. But during my follow-up with those guests, I would always ask the question, if I dropped off that anti-aging skincare I was talking about the other night, would you give it a go for a few days and give me some feedback? Now I've got 4 more people to do that with. And then again, 4 more potential hostesses. So I really believe it goes in a big circle. It really moves in a big circle. The one-on-ones lead to hostesses. The hostesses lead to candidates for your one-on-one. And it can just keep going as long as you get really good at follow-up and really good at booking from booking and staying connected and doing that. You can generate forward motion activity from your product trials. So I would bet that some of you who are watching this are, you're either a shift worker yourself, or your partner is. Maybe you work full time, maybe you have kids, maybe you have little kids, maybe you have older kids that are running around in the evenings. I find it even more challenging with evenings now with my kids being older, because they're in activities every night and my husband's going one direction and I'm going the other. So it's even more challenging sometimes to book those evening events. And I'm sure there's many of you on here who have looked at months, maybe February, where everything canceled or nothing booked in the first place, and you had no group presentations, and you were like, oh my God, I really am in business, but nothing is happening this month. So if any of those are true for you, then this is an excellent way to just to supplement, re-energize, add to your business. Like I said, they work together. They will create hostesses. So this is something at any given time, you can look at your RE9 set and go, okay, you need to get out of my house. You are not making me any money sitting here. Who can I give you to? And now all of a sudden, you're in income producing activity instead of sitting there worrying about the fact that you're not. So let's get into some of the details of it. So what products should you use? You should use, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, this is what I've found works the best after doing it for this many years. I believe you should use RE9 Advanced because what you are creating is a very specific product trial. We kind of went, so we used to do RE9 sets, and then it kind of grew like, oh, RE9 sets are good, let's throw some more product in there. And all of a sudden, we had these humongous pamper baskets. And they had like 62 products in them, and you were delivering them. Someone at work said, sure, I'll try. And all of a sudden you show up with this massive basket and you plop it on their desk at work, and they're like, oh my Lord, what am I supposed to do with that? Right? And you go to follow up and they've tried the hand cream because they're just overwhelmed. They don't even know where to start. So I don't believe that was effective. In fact, I saw our sales of RE9 go down during that time. So we have gone back. So I'm telling you this because I know everybody wants to try and see, well, maybe that'll work, and maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about, so I'm going to try this. So I'm telling you what I've learned. And I've learned that RE9 works the best because what you're doing is you're creating a very specific product trial of that line for 3 days. Morning and night, specific instructions, and you're coming to do feedback on that product line. So they know that's what they're doing. And so when you do that and you put that focus in there, the likelihood of showing up and they actually used it it goes up significantly instead of just using the shampoo or using the hand cream. And then you're like, how do I follow up on that? Like, did you like it? Right? So that's why RE9. RE9 is one of the biggest SKUs in our business. It drives our business. It's our reorder business. We make the most money on it. We get the most QV on it. So it makes sense that you want to get people on that product line. Even if they end up using a different line, so if Calm ends up being a better fit, or FC5 ends up being a better price point fit, or whatever ends up happening, that's okay. The RE9 opens the door. The RE9 is the wow factor. This is our skincare line that we have clinical results that show that their skin is going to change within 24 hours. So it makes sense that this is the line you want to lead with. You want the wow factor. You want them to be impressed by the packaging. You want them to be impressed by the results. You want them to go, wow, right? Because then they're open. If the RE9 was, say, too much for their skin, they're still open to finding the right fit, to going through the process of trying some of the other products to get the right fit because they're impressed by the product. I believe a full-size set trial is way more effective than a sample pack. I mean, sometimes you have to use sample packs because you're mailing them. I get that. That's what they're for to me. They're to mail. If I can give a full-size set instead, I know I'm going to get better results because it has a timeline. I'm dropping it off and I'm picking it up within a certain time frame. And just that in itself creates some urgency in the use, where I'm sure you've found when you've given someone a sample pack and you've called to follow up on it, they haven't used it. And then you call to follow up again and they haven't used it. And they call to follow again and it's in their drawer, right? And it's like, oh my God, how many times do I call? Well, it's very clear that you're dropping the set off for 3 days and you're coming back to pick it up. There's an urgency there to actually use it, and it makes your business way more effective. So, what do you drop off? So if you're actually putting it together, so here is my RE9 trial set. This is what I use. Again, really easy to give to someone. They can put it in their work bag. They can put it, in the swim bag. They can, whatever it is, and they can tuck it away. It's not a big, overwhelming item. So what goes in here is your full RE9 set. You want to use something for the night cream. So what I do is I use the tube of the night cream, and then when I come back, I bring that sample pack that I opened for this, and I leave that sample pack with them to use until their product comes in. So it's not a waste of a sample pack. It's just I'm giving them this night cream to use first, and then I'll give the rest of the sample pack on the pickup. Okay, so that, because you can't obviously put the jar of night cream in, that would be contaminated. So you gotta do something about the night cream. The other thing is your bottles should be labeled. So you should have tester stickers on them, and you should have step stickers on them, and both are available on the boutique. Arbonne Boutique. I don't know if they look still like this. They change them all the time. But these are the ones that I have on this set anyway. Tester is important because you want people to know that this is not a set you're giving them, because that's been a confusion sometimes when people haven't been clear about the instructions. And you want people to know that this is an open set. So it would be like going up to the counter at Clinique and you pick up a jar of cream and you put some on your hand and you're like, that other people have done the same thing. Like, it's an open set. You're under no illusion that this is, just for you. And that's kind of a protection for you, that the consumer knows that they're using a tester set. Really important that you keep these really clean. And you wipe them down with alcohol when they come in. And you wipe them down with alcohol, clean all the nozzles, make sure everything is not gunky. It's really, the first impression is really, really, really important. These bags wash really good in the washing machine. just hang them to dry. So I have extras, so I always wash it when it comes in, and then you don't have, I mean, it's sitting in people's bathroom, right? So you want to make sure that the next person that gets it gets a pristine set and they're really impressed with their experience. So the number stickers really help because they, say someone like me, I have contacts, right? When I take them out, I can't see a darn thing. So for me to be trying to like, you know, okay, well, what order? Like when people start looking at all of this, right? They're like, oh my God. It's the reason people don't like to use a set, because they're overwhelmed. So you need to make it as simple as possible. So if it says step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, all they got to do is follow the numbers. Don't put the numbers on the lids, because the lids come off and then people are confused. Best place to put the number is right on the bottle so that they can see it easily. I also, simply because the bag isn't full if you don't, and all the bottles fall down, I always put the primer in. And I used to put the hand cream in, but until we have a replacement for that, your CC cream would be a good filler as well. 2 extra products for them to try, and 2 products that they could use, you know, that they could add to their order. So, but that makes the bag nice and full and everything stands up. The other things that are in it, this is an instruction card. I don't know if you guys have this, but I'll make sure you do. So if they have sensitive skin, you have specific instructions that you can pull out and walk them through. If they say, well, my skin's sensitive, I'm a little concerned, no problem. Here's your plan. This beautiful new flyer we have is also amazing to put in there because it gives them information on the products that they're using. And then you should have your business card in there as well, so that they have your contact information readily available if something should happen or something, so they have a question and they can call you. So this is what it looks like. Okay, I think of these guys as employees. This is an employee that I'm handing out, and it's actually going to work while I'm not working. So that 3 days that the person's using it, it's working for me. So I also want you to think, if you have these sitting in your house and they're not out working, then they're like lazy employees that are sitting on their butt doing nothing. So it should bug the heck out of you, and you should be thinking, oh, I need to get this out. Like, I need to get this out to somebody, because this is just costing me money sitting here instead of making me money. Okay? Any questions so far? You think? Makes sense? Give me a yes if it makes sense. All right. Okay, that works too. All right. So who do you ask when you're using, when you want to hand these out? Well, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Or Michaela, sorry. And Crystal, thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not talking to like outer space, that you guys are with me. All right. So who should you ask? Now, same for all of your activity. It works exactly the same way. So you should have a working 100-person list that you're constantly adding names to. And this is something that's key to your business growing. This is not something you just do in the beginning. This is something that you always do. And so as you meet people, you always want to add people to this list. And you might not know like a lot about them. It might just be like the brown-haired lady at the pool with the son named Luke. Like, it could be that general. But you've started a conversation, or, you know, you kind of think she looks interesting and you want to start a conversation, or it could be the lady at the coffee shop that, you know, we always go through the drive-thru and it's the same lady and you seem to chat with her all the time. Write her down. Like, she's part of your network. So this is an ongoing list. So when you want to get this lazy employee out, you want to look at your list and say, okay, well, who's someone I could ask to try RE9 and drop it off for them? Okay, who's someone I can ask? When you ask, you then transfer them over to your 40 faces, because now it's turned into an ask, and so you can start tracking it. Okay, so it works the same as asking a hostess to host. You're just asking someone off that 100-person list to try this and do a product trial for you. Then it moves into your calendar because you book the drop off, and you book the pickup. So now you start filling your calendar. So it works exactly the same way. We're just doing a different activity. All right. How do you ask? Really simple. If I would you, that really basic ask. If I dropped off a trial set of our incredible anti-aging skincare, would you use it? And I often say, would you use it and give me some feedback? People like to give feedback. Human beings love to give feedback. So if you ask for feedback, most people are like, sure, I'll give feedback, right? Anti-aging skincare, incredible anti-aging skincare. Now, here's the thing. What you might find is that you're going to hesitate to, say, ask your younger names on that list. Maybe your 20-year-olds, like your millennials, because you're thinking, well, anti-aging skincare, they're not into that. But I want you to look at the term anti-aging, and it means not aging. So what I have always said to people when they're like, well, I don't think I'm really ready for anti-aging skincare, my response is, okay, so you love your skin right now then. I understand that, right? And they're like, yes, I'm not feeling the need for it. I'm like, so what if you could take your skin and kind of freeze it the way it is right now? Keep it looking this way as long as possible. Would you want to do that? Well, yes. That's the purpose of anti-aging skincare. It's the anti part. It's harder to correct it afterwards. We want to keep it from happening in the first place. We want to keep you looking, as amazing as you do right now. So when you explain it, instead of just taking it as a no, like, no, or not asking, people will not ask because they don't want to offend people. But when you explain it, that you're beautiful and you want to keep your skin looking exactly like it does right now, don't you? That's when people open up to the idea of, oh, I didn't really think of it that way. I thought it was for old people. It's not. It's for all of us so that we can look young longer. So if I dropped it off, would you use it? That's really the key. Don't go into a ton of details. Don't go on about Arbonne. Don't make it a big, huge ask. Just would you? And you know what? Why I love it. It comes out so easy off your tongue, even when you're just standing. Oh, you haven't heard of Arbonne? Well, hey, if I dropped off some of our, anti-aging skincare, it's incredible. Would you use it and give me some feedback? It's just a really easy ask. You don't have to say much about it. And I can honestly say, I can't recall someone actually saying no, no, I don't want to do that. People are intrigued enough. I've had people not use it when I drop it off, but they don't say no. So it's an easy ask, and it's an easy ask to say yes to. So that's why I love that verbiage. So that's how you're going to ask. You can do it by text. You can do it by phone. You can do it in person. You can do it anywhere. And one of the tricks that I've learned. So I live out of town, about 15 minutes outside of town. And sometimes when I go into town for the day, because I've got back-to-back stuff or whatever, I'm there for the day. I'm not going to be driving back and forth. I will, if I've got one of these sitting here, I'll take it with me. And I'll be like, okay, this thing is not coming home with me. I'm going to be on purpose today to find someone that will take it, that will use it. And it totally changes your mindset, because you're like, okay, as you're talking to people and running into people, and maybe you run into someone in the grocery store and you're like, hey, I never asked her, right? It just makes you really on purpose to do income producing activity right then and there. Another reason why I love it. Okay, let's go to the drop off. What do you say on the drop off? So this part is really key. This is where I probably learned probably the most of my lessons in doing this, where I did it wrong. This is key to get the right results. That's what this is key for. So I want you to really trust me on this and try not to change it too much. Just try it this way, because this comes from many times doing it wrong and not getting results. How many people have dropped off product for someone and they left it, sitting on, you came back to get it and it's on the doorstep, or they left it on your desk at work, or they give it back to your husband instead of keeping their meetup time with you. That's what happens when you don't have a very clear clear drop off. They don't really know what they're supposed to do with it. So trust me on this part. So this is what you say. So you get to the door, hi, blah, blah, right? And you're holding the product and you're like, you haven't given it to them yet. And you say, so this is how this works. I'm going to leave this with you for 3 days to try for free. And in return, all I ask is for about 20 minutes of your time, just so I can ask you some questions about your experience. Does that work for you? So what I'm doing is I'm setting up a business transaction. So I'm going to give this to you for 3 days for free. And in return, you're going to give me 20 minutes of your time. So there's a transaction happening. This is really important, or else people don't know what to do. They don't know what's expected of them. I'm going to give you this. You're going to give me time. Does that work for you? So this is a moment of, the person could say no. The person could be like, well, I don't want to meet with her. And they could say, no, it doesn't work for me. And then you say, okay, thank you. And you leave with your product. You don't give it to her because you're saving your time and you're going to get it to someone else. But when they say yes, and they do say yes, they say, yeah, sure, that sounds good. You say, great. So what time on 3 days from now, and try and keep it to 3 days. I know life gets in the way, or it's further away, or there's a weekend, and sometimes it's 4 days or whatever. But your goal is to try and keep it to 3 days so that you can get this out as much as possible. So 3 days from now is Thursday, right? So what time works for you on Thursday? And book the appointment. And literally pull out your phone. Again, learn this. Pull out your phone and put the date right in. Like, pull up your calendar and say, okay, yeah, Thursday works for me. 4:30, great, 4:30 works for you too. So you're putting her name in and you're putting it in as 4:30. Like, you're confirming an appointment. Again, business transaction, it will help. You're going to pass the bag over and you're going to say, I know you're going to love this line. Let me give you a few quick tips to make this, a really excellent experience. Open up the bag, and I want you to show her, because I always say the bottles are all pumps and they're metered, so they pretty much tell you how much to use, but you're going to look at this one pump. You're going to look at this one pump and you're going to say, oh, that's not nearly enough, right? So you're going to want to do 2 or 3. But just trust me, that one pump is going to be enough for your face. So take it and spread it around so that they can see just how far it goes. One of the negative experiences people have with this is they use too much product and their skin reacts, or it's all puffy, or it's irritated. So it's really important that they know that one pump is plenty. If you need a little bit more, say a little bit more day cream, whatever, go ahead and add it. But start with one and add, instead of pumping, 4 pumps and smearing it on and being like, oh my God. Know that one pump is plenty. So I always pull one out and I always put one pump on my hand so they can see what one pump looks like, so that they trust me. I always tell them that the night cream is in a different kind of container because they're going to wonder what it is. And it's because it comes in a pot. So this is what keeps it hygienic. And again, pea-size amount for the night cream so that they get a great experience. If they have sensitive skin, the sensitive skin instructions are here that they can follow. And I also tell them and show them that all the bottles are numbered, so that they just need to follow the numbered instructions. So if they're overwhelmed by the line, which people will be, so just follow the numbers in order. Use it exclusively morning and night for the next 3 days. And I can't wait to hear about your experience. Do you have any questions? Right? Yes, no, whatever. Great. I'll see you on Thursday at 4:30. So reconfirm the appointment. So this part is really key, because this is the tone you set. Because I want to compare that to, like, so you have your 9 set and you're like, show up at the door and you're like, yeah, here it is. And she's like, great. And I'm like, okay, we'll see you later. and you close the door and she's like, well, holy smokes, what the heck's this? What am I supposed to do with it? What is she giving it to me? Am I supposed to give it back? When am I supposed to give it back? What am I supposed to do with this, right? The clearer you can be in your setup, the better your results are going to be. Absolutely, hands down, the better your results are going to be. Okay. Okay, one day after drop off, send a text just to connect in, or quick phone call just to connect in, make sure there's no questions, make sure she started using it, right? It's a way of like, if she forgot, of like triggering like, oh yeah, right, I'm supposed to be using that. And then when you come back for the follow-up meeting, you want to, so you come in, right, and you sit down and you know, the small talk, that kind of stuff, normal. And then, you know, you say something like, you know, I can't wait to hear about your experience. I just have a few questions to ask you. And then what I want you to do, this is what I use for my documents for this. So I carry this with me all the time. So then I actually go in, and the very top document is my survey. And I pull it out, and I put it on the table, and I say, okay, and I write their name on the top. And it's very official. It is fascinating how much people like answering questions about themselves, like about their experience. And you actually will see their body language change. They'll kind of like lean in and be ready, right? It's amazing. So you're going to ask them some questions about their experience and go through the survey. It's key because it gets them talking about what they used to use before, the problems with their skin, what they're looking for. It opens up all sorts of doors for you on a business level if you know they value pure, safe, and beneficial products, like they totally twig onto the product philosophy. You know you've just started with them. You could actually sample out some other lines, 30 Days to Healthy Living. You know, like they just opened a big door when they're like, oh my gosh, this is so important to me, right? When they identify anti-aging as a big concern, when they say something about, you know, that their son has acne, you know, like it just opens all sorts of doors for you as a business owner of different places you can go with this, with our product with them. And that's the purpose of the survey. Obviously, we're not collecting data or compiling it somewhere. The survey is a tool for you to start conversation with the person and really get to know them and what their concerns are. Like if I could wave a magic wand and change one thing about your skin, what would it be? You're going to immediately identify what it is they worry about the most, which will tell you what type of product they're really looking for. Okay? So the product experience questions are important too because, you know, did you use the products exclusively day and night? Were they easy to use? You know, after using the products you noticed. Those are all key questions that allows you to make sure that they didn't have a bad experience because they used it wrong. Because maybe they used too much. Maybe they only used it once. Like that's your way of like finding out, okay, did they actually follow the instructions and did they get a great test? You know, did it work for them? The key question on this survey, the absolutely key question on here that you must ask. This is your moment in the conversation where it will tell you what you need to do. Did this trial meet your skincare needs? Okay? Did this trial meet your skincare needs? Key question. Because you're not asking them, do you want to buy the skincare line? You're asking them, did it meet your needs? And you will see people think. They'll take it on and they'll be like, yeah, it really did. I really enjoyed it. And they'll talk. And that positive response as someone selling the product gives you that permission to go forward and really explain how they can get it at a great price. Right? So you're not trying to guess. Did they like it? Didn't they? Do they want it? Do they not? Like what? She's giving me mixed signals here. That question gives you a very, very clear answer of what they, you know, how they felt. Now, if they give you a yeah, but, or not really, that's when you can have a conversation about other product lines. So yeah, but I found it a little bit much for my skin. And then you can start to get into Calm or FC5 or other products that we have. that they are struggling with some acne, and you might look at some of those products. So that answer really tells you the direction that you're going to go with them. Okay, so you've asked the question, did it meet your needs? All right, your job in the close, again, this is the second most important part. The first is actually getting a good drop off so they have a good experience, or the close will never happen anyway. The close is second most important, that you get really good at this process of getting a result from this whole experience. So your job in the close is to really create value for them, so that they know what they're getting, what you're offering and what they're getting with the different product offers, specifically the RE9 Face ASVP. That's what you're looking to sell. You're not looking to sell individual products. You're not looking to sell part of the set. That's not your goal. That might happen, but that's not your goal. Your goal is to sell a full RE9 set. Assume the sale of the set. When you show up to do that pickup, I want you to go in with the mindset that you're there to sell the entire set. They loved it. They had a great experience, and you're there to sell the entire set. It's kind of like, baking a cake. You need to put all the ingredients together. All the ingredients separately are wonderful, right? But when you put them together, they're magic and they make a cake. It's the same with RE9. Each of the individual components are amazing. Put them together and use them together, and the results are incredible. And that's the mindset you have to have going in. I need to show her the value in having this skincare set. So when she says, and it could be he, I'm just going to say she, when she says, yes, I loved it, it was amazing, your response is great. Let me show you how you can get it at the very best deal. Very best deal. You're going to get about $600 in value for a right around $300. And kind of pause and let that kind of sink in, because we like deals, we like sales, we like 50% off, we like it to register. And one of the mistakes that we make here, that I've made, that I'm sure you've made, is we over-explain this. So we go into all sorts of minute detail about the RSVP and the price and the free product and the free shipping and the 40% off, and really we just overwhelm them with information and they can't process it. So think about if you were to go into a store. You know, you walk into a store and a clerk asks you, oh, did someone tell you about today's special? Right? And you're like, no, they didn't. And so whatever they tell you in that moment has to be clear, or you're not going to take advantage of it. So if they tell you everything in the store is 50% off, you're like, holy cow, wow, that's amazing. Excellent. Thank you. Or if they tell you, buy one, get one free, everything in the store. Simple, right? Or, buy $300 worth of stuff and you get 100 free. Okay, right? Simple. So think about how you're explaining the ASVP. If you're complicating it and you're making it like, you get 40% off and it's this much, and then you can pick a free product up to $60 off this list, and and then you also get free shipping, and there's a PC membership and it's $24, and right? The people are like, what? She lost me. I'm not interested. So keep it really simple, right? Very best deal. You get about $600 worth of value for just over $300. And let that register. Let that register. Because most people will be like, oh, that's a good deal. Okay. And you can see them. They're like, oh, or they're like, oh, and that's when you can start to give a bit more details. That's when you can pull out your close sheets, and this is where they all are. So I can pull out my ASVP close sheet, and I can actually show her the deal I'm talking about, right? I can actually show some numbers, but I want to get her attention first. So she's like, oh, 50% off, really good deal. Okay, wow, okay. Can I do this, right? I don't know, can I afford that? I don't know. You want to get all that stuff going in her head. Pull the close sheet, show them the deal, assume you're selling the whole set, and then you're going to ask the question, so what would you like to do? And then you're going to stop talking. You're going to close your mouth. You're going to bite the inside of your cheek. whatever you need to do to stop talking. Okay? Again, one of the things we do right here is because we're uncomfortable, we fill the space with chatter. I want you to put yourself in that position. So you are making a decision about spending over $300, right? You're like, oh my gosh, $300, that's a lot of money. Oh, can I afford that? What's my husband going to say? He's probably going to be mad. Oh, I don't care if he's mad. It's my money, it's okay. Right? You're going through this whole conversation in your head. That's what happens. If you're making a major purchase, and I would say for the majority of people, spending $300 is a major purchase. So if you have someone sitting across the table nattering at you, saying, well, you don't have to, you could do it. You're not giving them any space to actually think about the decision. It's okay if it's uncomfortable. Most people, when they're making a major purchase, are uncomfortable. Are you? Right? Are you uncomfortable? When you bought that, first car or that first house or that, that new bed or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this the right decision? It's better, you're like, oh, I don't know. You're going through all those things in your head. So give the person space and time. Let them be uncomfortable. It's their discomfort. It doesn't have to be yours. You don't have to take it on. You are there knowing the incredible product that you have. You know the incredible value that you're offering. They're getting $600 for $300, right? Incredible value. And you can just sit back and wait. Let them be uncomfortable. You don't have to. Let them be uncomfortable. So what would you like to do? And wait. And it might take a minute or two. Or they might be a person that kind of talks it through out loud. They might be like, oh, don't talk. Don't talk. Okay? Don't add in, unless they're asking you to. Well, what questions? But if they're just talking it through, just nod and smile and be encouraging and just let them figure it out. Let them figure it out. But it's up to them what they want to do, right? Once they decide, so if they're like, yes, I'm going to do it, right? I'm going to do it. Great. Do it. Get the order forms out, fill it out, get it done. Okay? Do it right there in that moment before anything else changes. Great, I'm going to do it. If they say, you know what, gosh, I really want this product, but I can't afford $300 right now. It's just not in our budget, I'm sad, I can't, whatever. That's when you start looking at what the other options are. So the next lowest option is that $195 order where they're going to get their free product, right? Their minimum PC membership order. So that's when you go down to that. You don't start there. You start at the set, and then when they're like, yeah, the price point is too high, then you say, oh, okay, well, you know what? We have another offer, and it's at this level. It's $195, which then your discount comes off, and you get it's some really good value in it as well. We could get you the serum, the eye cream, and the night cream in that offer. So we're getting part of the set. But the 3 parts of the set where the most pow happens, right? Was that interesting to you? What would you like to do? So start high, start with the big set and work yourself down. Right? You might even be down. I'll just take the night cream. Great, right? But you don't start there. You don't start at, so which products would you like to order? You start at the set and you work your way down to whatever works for them. If cost is seriously a factor, then this person is an excellent candidate to be a hostess. This is a great time to put your your group presentation ask out there. Offer the opportunity to host so that they can earn their product and host rewards, right? The business opportunity is also really key in here. And you'll notice in the product survey, it asks them about, are you aware of the potential income? Would you be open to hearing more about it? It's all in there. But if cost comes up, and it comes up in a really in-your-face way, like my husband's been laid off, or I've been laid off, or I'm not working right now, or I'm on mat leave, I'm not making any money, whatever, then that's a door they've given you that is a potential hosting, but it's also a potential for business. Well, are you looking to make extra income? Just ask that question. They're telling you they don't have any money. Ask the question, are you looking to make extra income? So all of the answers they're going to give you are positive. You have an answer for all of it. If they want to buy the set, you're going to show them how. If they can't buy the set, you're going to buy a lower amount of a package. Great. If they can't do that, you have the opportunity to host. If money is obviously really an issue, you can offer the business opportunity. Like, you always have an answer, no matter what. Your whole job when you're there is to serve that person and to figure out how Arbonne can help them. And this is the mindset that will change the experience for you, because if you go in with, I really hope she buys it, or I really hope she signs up, you're coming at it from like, it's about you. It's about you making the sale and you making the money. And that's where people get uncomfortable in the business. That's why they find it so awkward to ask for the sale, because honestly, the sale is about them. If you go in with the mindset, you know what, I'm here to serve this person. I'm here to help them find the best fit for Arbonne. I don't know if that's product. I don't know if it's hosting. I don't know if it's the business, but I'm just their guide. I'm just here to help them figure it out. And if you listen and ask questions and really engage and focus on their needs, it gets a lot easier, because now it's not about you. It's really about them. So a couple last tips here before we wrap up. Let's see where we are. Okay, perfect. One, finish the survey. The last two parts of it. Once you finish the sale, try to avoid any kind of I'll call you tomorrow for that information, or like the free product. Really guide them to the free product. So the primer is a perfect free product. I find what we want to do is say, well, we'll take a look at the catalog or take a look at the list, and you can decide on your free product, but you delay it. And then you've got to get a hold of them tomorrow. And then all of a sudden the sale falls apart. So really try and guide the free product. That's why we're putting the primer in there, because you can say you could get that primer for free. Just keep it really simple, right? If they're not interested in the primer, pull out your free product list and direct them to a couple of things you would recommend. Get it done right there and then. Respect your time, respect their time. It's so much easier than coming back to follow up in the future. Finish the survey. So you've got the host, the referrals, the booking, and the business questions that are on here. So finish it, because that's other business for you. That's other avenues you can explore with them. And then thank them and be on your way. So don't prolong it. Don't drag it out. Just make it very efficient. This should take 20 minutes to a maximum of 30, depending on how many questions they have or how engaged they are with you. If you end up talking to someone who's really interested in the business, it could go on a bit longer, but that's obviously great. So, but just a product person, try to keep it very efficient and quick and easy. So for you, but also for them, respect their time as well, so that you're in and out and they can go on. You asked for 20 minutes, so try and keep it like in there, so that they can go on and continue with their day. Now I want to give you one last tip about this. One of the things that I found doing this over the years is that it's a great avenue for a business conversation. People think we're just a party company. They lump us in with all of the other companies out there. So they think that we just do parties. And probably the biggest objection you've ever had, as you ask people about the business, it's one of the big ones. I don't like parties. I don't like to do parties. I don't want to talk in front of people. I don't want, right? Like, it's one of the big objections we hear from people. So this reach out method lends itself really well to attracting people to the business. And it's happened many times over the years to me where people have said, oh, is this what you do? Like, this is how you work your business? And yeah, it is actually. We have lots of different ways we can do it, but I find this one works really well for my lifestyle, and it works around my kids and my husband, and I really enjoy doing it. And it really opens their mind to the possibility of the business, that the business doesn't have to be party-based. It can look differently. Obviously, what we see generally, once people are in the business and a consultant, they see the benefit of also doing group presentations because it's a great way to leverage your time. But this is a great way to attract people into the business. Okay? It's a great way to attract them into the business because they're like, oh, I could see myself doing this. Like, you're not standing in front of a group. I'm not asking people to host stuff. Right? Really kind of gets the brain thinking that this could be something that they would do as well. So that's just a tip for you, that this is another way to really attract those business builders to your business. Any questions about anything before we wrap up? Did that help? Do you have a plan? Claire has all the documents too, so if a lot of this is in there, so you'll be able to use that to refresh your memory, and to help new consultants get going with it as well. You can have, I've had lots of these sets going. There was a time in my business. There was a time in my business where I actually had 12 of them going at the same time, which is insane, and you need a chart to keep track of where they are and where they're going. But I was able to build my business really quickly doing that. I was really busy, but it worked really well in my life. So, 4 is a great number to have, to be able to get 4 out every week and then get them, clean them, and then hand them out. Again, you can get them out twice a week. So you could be getting in front of 8 people every week of the month. 4 times 8, 32 people, just with your RE9 sets, if you get really good at scheduling them. There's a question here. Who won what? A chart. A chart is a good thing. Just like you can use a spreadsheet, that you just have the date, who it is, when you're dropping it off, when your pickup time is, what the result was. Just a basic, you can just use a blank chart. That works really well. Or you can just do it in your calendar, right? Book it and then book the follow-up time 3 days later, and stay on top of it that way. But if you were to get lots going at the same time, I found a chart where I could actually see where my RE9 sets were, made it a lot easier because it made it easier to book them too. I could see when one was coming in and then when it would go out, and so that really depends on you and what works the best for you. How do you handle it? Oh, pick up. Yes, that's a good point. Okay, so if you get to the door, 2 ways here. If you get to the door, you get to do the follow-up. Sorry, let's try that again. You show up to do the follow-up, and you find out they haven't used it. Okay? You find out they haven't used it. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't used it. Okay, so this is what you do. You say, oh, I'm so sorry that didn't work out for you. Okay, no problem. This one's booked. I have someone else I need to drop it off to, but would you like me to reschedule you for an opportunity in the future? And they're like, oh, thinking they're just going to keep it, right? Oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll rebook, right? Or if they say, can I just keep it for a few more days? Always say no. Always say no. Always say it's booked. Always go pick it up and reschedule them if necessary in the future. Because I'll tell you what you're communicating if you say yes. One, you're saying, this thing is not having any value. No one else wants it. No one else wants to use it. You can keep it as long as you want. I don't care. Don't do that. Just say, oh, that's too bad. I do have to pick, if they reschedule on you, that's a good one. So if they're phoning and they're rescheduling, saying, you know what, that's too bad that we can't do the follow-up today. I do have to come pick up the set though. So what works for you? That set's booked. I need to get it out to someone else today. Can I meet you? Get the set back. And if you have to reschedule the follow-up, fine. But the worst thing that can happen here is that you have someone with a set and they keep rescheduling on you, and all of a sudden it's been 2 weeks and your set's been out of commission. It's not making you any money. They're either using it every day, which is awesome, using it for free, or they haven't used it at all. Neither are a good scenario for you. Neither are. So you don't want to leave it. Thanks for asking that question, because it's really key. Don't leave it. If you show up to follow up and they haven't used it, take it home anyway. Even if you don't have it booked, it doesn't matter. Take it home anyway. I'm sorry it's booked. I can reschedule you though, let you know when the next one's available. You create urgency, you create desire about the product. You're like, oh my gosh, right? Oh my gosh, yes, and now I want to use it, right? And same thing with the rescheduling. Totally understand, but I do need to stop by and pick it up. What works for you, right? I can pop by at work, I can stop by your house, but go pick that sucker up so that you have it back in your hands and you're not playing some cat and mouse game of trying to track them down and get it back. That's what will make you crazy, for sure. And again, there's that transaction part of it, that business part of it, that confidence part of it. No problem. Totally understand. But I need to come pick it up from you because that thing's busy and it has someone else to go see today. Okay, awesome. I think that was it. Any other questions? Yeah. So Kelly, just finding a system of tracking it and getting them in and out. And even if you do it, like, try and get it, like, you hand them out on Mondays, pick them up on Thursdays, get that out on Thursday, pick it up, right? Like, you try and get a circle going so you can actually kind of book your time in chunks. That's what I would do. I'd have like an afternoon where I was picking up multiple ones. Like, the more efficient you can be at it and use your time so you're not driving randomly all over the place, the better. And that's just practice. That's just figuring out. It depends where you live, depends how spread out things are. Are you in a city or rural, whatever? You'll figure that out, but try and just be efficient with it. I drop them off on Mondays. Don't be afraid to say that to people if that's what works for you. I drop them off on Mondays. I pick them up on Thursdays. That's what I do. So, and then book within that. Again, when you give people direction, they often respond to it. If they can't make that work, then you make the exception. But work with how your life works. You're the business owner. You're the one who has doors that are open. We don't have to be kind of at other people's, we don't have to organize our whole life around other people. We can really take control of that time and that calendar. Okay? Make sense? All right. I think that was it. Cool. Yeah. Rescheduling. Good. Excellent. All right. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And I hope that you are able to rock your RE9 sets here over the next couple of weeks. I look forward to hearing from Claire how it went. Thanks for taking the time with me today. I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys at GTC. Have a great day, everybody.